No one was allowed to touch her. That wasn't just a rule. It was law. The first thing they told me when I arrived on the Virection flagship was simple. Do not approach the princess. The second thing, if she approaches you, do not move. I thought it was a joke. It wasn't. I was there as part of a diplomatic exchange. Another human sent to stand in rooms full of beings who didn't quite trust us yet, smiling politely while pretending we all understood each other. We didn't. Not really. The Virections were precise. Everything they did had structure, purpose, meaning. Even their silence felt organized. And at the center of it all was her, Princess Alyra, daughter of the Queen, heir to a civilization that spanned systems, and apparently the most untouchable being in existence. She must not be influenced. One of the officials told me during orientation. Influenced how? I asked. In any way. That cleared nothing up. She is in a developmental phase. They continued. Her neural pathways are highly adaptive. External contact, physical or emotional, can alter her long-term cognitive patterns. So no touching, I said. No proximity. No direct interaction. No emotional engagement. I blinked. That sounded extreme. It is necessary. Of course it was. Everything with them was. I didn't meet her until 3 days later. And even then, it wasn't supposed to happen. The observation deck was quiet that cycle. Most of the crew had rotated out, leaving the wide, curved chamber nearly empty. Beyond the transparent barrier, space stretched endlessly, stars scattered like distant embers. I liked it there. It reminded me how small everything really was. I was leaning against a railing, reviewing notes, when I felt it, that subtle shift, that presence. I turned, and she was there, standing at the far end of the deck, alone, no guards, no attendants. Just her. She was smaller than I expected. Not weak. Not fragile. Just young. Her form was elegant. Her movements precise even in stillness. Her skin held a faint luminescence. Soft gold threaded with shifting patterns of light that moved like thoughts beneath the surface. Her eyes. They were the strangest part. Not because they were alien, but because they were curious. She was looking at me, not like I was a threat, not like I was an anomaly, like I was something new. And that's when I remembered the rules. Don't approach. Don't move. Don't engage. So I did the only thing I could. I froze. For a long moment, neither of us moved. Then she took a step forward. My pulse spiked instantly. Another step. Closer. I stayed exactly where I was. Stop, I said carefully. You're not supposed to come near me. She didn't stop. If anything, she seemed more interested. You are human, she said. Her voice was soft, measured. Yes, you are not like the others. That's subjective. She tilted her head slightly. You speak differently. I guess. Another step. Princess, I said, keeping my voice steady. You really shouldn't. She stopped right in front of me, close enough that I could see the faint shifts of light across her skin, close enough that this was definitely against the rules. You are afraid, she said. Not afraid, I replied, careful. Why? Because if anyone sees this, I'm in trouble. She considered that, then asked, why? I almost laughed. Because I'm not supposed to interact with you. But you are, she said. That's because you came to me. Then the rule is flawed. I blinked. That's one way to look at it. She studied me for a moment longer. Then, without warning, she stepped even closer and rested her head against my shoulder. My entire body locked up. Every instinct screamed at me to move, to step back, to fix this. But I remember the rule. if she approaches you, do not move. So I didn't. I stood there, frozen, while the most protected being in the galaxy leaned against me like it was the most natural thing in the world. And then she closed her eyes and fell asleep. For a moment, I thought I imagined it. But no, her breathing slowed. Her body relaxed. She was asleep. On me. This is bad, I whispered. Footsteps echoed from the corridor. Of course someone had seen. The guards arrived first. Fast, silent, weapons already drawn. They stopped the moment they saw us. Not shocked, not confused. Just still, like the entire universe had paused. One of them stepped forward. Princess, he said quietly. No response. She is in rest state. Another guard murmured. Their weapons didn't lower, but they didn't fire either. They just watched, waiting for her to wake up, because no one, not even them, was allowed to touch her. Minutes passed. Long, unbearable minutes. My shoulder was going numb. My heart wouldn't slow down. But I didn't move. I couldn't. Finally, she stirred. Her eyes opened slowly. She blinked once, twice, then looked up at me. You remain, she said. I didn't really have a choice. She straightened slightly, stepping back. The moment she did, the guards lowered their weapons. Not all the way, but enough. And just like that, everything changed. I was summoned to the Queen within the hour. The throne chamber was massive, cold, perfectly symmetrical. She stood at its center. The Queen, tall, imposing, unmistakably powerful. Her gaze locked onto me the moment I entered. You were in contact with my daughter, she said. Not a question. Yes. You were instructed not to be. Yes. And yet you did not withdraw. I met her gaze. She approached me. A pause. You could have moved. No, I said. I couldn't.
The guards shifted slightly behind me. The Queen stepped closer. Explain. I took a breath. Your rules, I said. They're clear. If she approaches, I don't move. Another pause. You chose to follow the rule, instead of avoiding contact. Yes. Why? Because I figured breaking one rule was better than breaking two. Silence filled the chamber. Then, the Queen turned slightly. Lyra, she said. The princess stepped forward from the shadows. She had been there the entire time, watching. You approached him, the Queen said. Yes. You made contact. Yes. Why? Lyra looked at me, then back at her mother.
He was calm, she said.
The Queen's expression didn't change. And that justified breaking protocol? Yes. Another pause. Then Lyra added, I felt safe. That word echoed in the chamber. Safe. The Queen went still. Completely still. Because that wasn't supposed to happen. Not with her. Not with anyone. You are not designed to require safety, the Queen said. Lyra tilted her head. But I do. Silence. Heavy.
Uncertain.
Then the Queen looked at me again. What did you do? She asked. Nothing, I said. I just didn't move. That is not nothing. Maybe for you, I replied. For humans, sometimes doing nothing is the hardest thing there is. The Queen studied me.
Long. Carefully.
Then, she turned away. This changes things, she said. I wasn't sure if that was good or bad. Turns out, it was both. Over the next few cycles, everything shifted. The rules didn't disappear, but they adapted. I was no longer just an observer. I became something else. A variable. Lyra sought me out again. Not immediately. Not recklessly. But deliberately. She asked questions.
Watched.
Learned. Why do humans seek connection? She asked once. Because we're not built to be alone, I said. You are capable of independence. Yeah, I replied. But that doesn't mean we want it. She considered that. I think I understand. And maybe.
She did.
The real test came later. When everything went wrong.
An attack. Fast.
Unexpected. The station shook as alarms blared. Security breach, the system announced. All personnel to designated positions. I ran. Not towards safety. Toward her. The corridor was chaos. Guards moving. Systems failing. And in the center of it, Lyra, alone. Frozen. Not from fear. From overload. Too much. Too fast. Lyra, I shouted. Her eyes snapped to me. Everything is wrong, she said. I know. I cannot process. I've got you, I said, stepping closer. The guards hesitated. Then, they did something unthinkable. They stepped back, letting me through, because they remembered, because they saw what happened before. I reached her. Focus on me, I said.
She did.
Just me. Nothing else. Her breathing slowed. The chaos faded from her eyes. You are here, she said.
Yeah.
I am safe. Yeah, I said again. And in that moment, the rules didn't matter. Protocol didn't matter. Nothing did, except that she trusted me. And I wasn't going to break that. The attack was contained. The damage repaired. But something had changed. Not just for us.
For all of them.
Later, the Queen summoned me again. You have altered her, she said. I shook my head. No, I replied. She changed herself. The Queen watched me carefully. Perhaps, she said. A pause. Stay, she added. Not an order. A request. I did. Because sometimes, breaking the rules isn't the problem. Sometimes, it's the only way things can change. And all it takes is one moment, one decision, one impossible act of trust to rewrite everything.